Okay, let me change these glasses. I got my birth control glasses on here. Hang on. Well, welcome everybody to the August 20th edition of Speaking of Zane. How about that? 239th, I believe. Hang on a second. Let me see. I'm missing a digit. I need to confirm because this is a very important month for Speaking of Zane. Yeah, 239th. So 239th edition. Let me get the 9 in there, guy. My keyboard doesn't want to work. Stick with me here. Logistical. There we go. So listen to this. 239th edition of Speaking of Zane. Today's August 20th. Now, I made a mistake. I didn't call this out sooner, and I should have. Happy 5th anniversary, Speaking of Zane. 5 years on August the 5th. It was August the 5th, 2018 that I did the very first edition of Speaking of Zane. Didn't know what the heck I was doing, but that was the date, August the 5th, 2018. So it's been 5 years that we've been doing Speaking of Zane, and you guys have been absolutely fantastic gathering together every Sunday night. Not every, because we've missed some, but considering we've done 239 of these, we've been on a pretty good, had a pretty good record. We have had some instances where we've had to skip or do Monday night or whatever, but you know what? Life gets in the way of stuff, and this is no exception. Let me take my banners down here. There we go. You can see me. Okay, well, let's see what the heck have we got going here. Let me see who we've got with us tonight. Daryl's in there. Daryl, are you back from Tennessee? Now, Daryl lives in the St. Louis area, but he has kinfolk in Tennessee. And Daryl took a trip down there, as he often does, to see some grandkids. Now, Daryl, I think it's true that you made a trip to Tennessee and you saw one of your great granddaughters for the very first time. Now, the question is, are you back home? And if so, I'm glad you made it there and back safely. I know it's probably less than 4-hour drive, but good to have you in there tonight. Ken's in there. Hey, Ken from Central Florida. Good to have you in there. Ken, this is the week. Let's see. Ken, help me here. Is it this last week you laid your father to rest at Arlington? Was it 8 years? No, or was it 10 years? Has it been 10 years? Anyway, Ken will put that in the chat. But if you remember, Ken's father was at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, 1941. And Ken has shared with us now a couple of years in a row the account of his father's experience, and he'll do it again this year. Won't you, Ken? Tell us about that that day, a secondhand account, but he'll tell his father's firsthand account. But welcome, Ken. Matt Aaron, one of Zane's battle buddies in there. There's my dad from hot South Georgia. Well, I tell you what, Dad, we were 90 or so today. I got a good walk, got a good 3-mile walk in, but we are supposed to be well into the 90s here in Atlanta this week. So I know you guys will be up there. I'm actually going to be in St. Louis most of this week, where it's going to be 100 degrees or greater during the day. More about that later. Jimbo Miller's in there. Hey, Jim. Let's see. Carl Kihas is in there. Hey, Carl. And let's see. Somebody is saying, hey, Tommy. It's probably one of my aunts, maybe Aunt Mary or somebody that calls me Tommy. So what's the story about that? Well, I'm Guy McDonald Jr., and I'm proud to be that. But they needed a way to distinguish me from my dad, and our middle name is Thomas. So as a kid, they called me Tom or Tommy. So all my kinfolk called me Tommy all the way my whole life, and still do. So I'll go by Tom, Tommy, Guy, Butthole, lots of things I'll answer to. Lori's in there. Amy's in there. Hey, Amy Walton, I love you. Good to have you in there. Katie Aaron's in there, wife of Matt Aaron. Are the girls back in school, Katie? I think they started school. Let's see. Daryl says, yes, he is back. Lori is sharing with Matt and Katie that she got to spend time with Johnny Evall, who was one of Matt and Zane's battle buddies, one of Zane's best buddies, Johnny Evall, and lives in Maine, lives like 30 minutes away from Abby and the kids. And you may recall that Johnny and his wife, they were on Speaking of Zane last Sunday night when Lori was in Maine. So what a special time that was. 7 years, Ken says. Okay, Ken, 7 years. Next time I'm at Arlington, Ken, I'm going to pay my respects to your father. Okay, Lori says John Evall is coming to the gathering. So yeah, we'll begin to planning on this next year, late summer, early fall. We're planning to have a gathering of friends and family of Zane's, and it looks like we're going to do it sort of probably in the Tennessee, West North Carolina mountains, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Asheville-ish area. But Lori is saying second week of August, so that'll be great. It's been since Zane's passing in January of 2016 that all of these folks were together. Unfortunately, they were together for a very sad occasion, but I think that'll be very cool to get together. Let's see. Carl says it's 104. Oh my goodness. You guys in the central U.S. are getting some heat faux show. Well, my daughter's in Chicago. She said it was unseasonably cool there. They had the air show there this weekend. Let's see. Katie says not yet. Okay, the girls don't go to school till, okay. Now, these school start dates vary so greatly, don't they? Some kids have been in school for a couple of weeks now. Some don't go for a couple of weeks. It's pretty crazy all across the country, the difference. Seemed like when we were kids, it was like June to August. June, July, and August, you were out of school. But, oh, well, that's the way things go. Okay, well, let's see. What else we got? Okay, good to have everybody in there. I tell you what, my heart is full when I see you guys joining to hear this old man talk about Zane and other things. Had a good weekend. Had a really good weekend. Got some yard work in. I tell you what, Yeah, I work pretty hard at work. I'm still working. I'm 60 years old, but I'm still working a job, and I'm absolutely loving it. I'm having the most job satisfaction I've probably ever had with what I'm doing. But on the weekend, I love to do yard work. I just do. I love to disconnect. Got the yard work done today. Got some pine straw laid today around the tree out front. Did a little housework. Got the back deck all cleaned up. Washed the cars with my pressure washer. Got a couple of really good walks in. Got some Braves baseball games in. Braves lost today, unfortunately. We were looking for the sweep of the Giants, but came up a little bit short. But the Braves are setting records. Braves are doing great. If you're a baseball fan, you ought to be following the Braves. Cooked a whole chicken in the crock pot today. Just had a really good weekend. Got a lot done. Well, let's see. Let me look at the chat here. I always enjoy everybody's comments here. All right, some folks had school start on August 4th. August 4th. See, Jimbo says it's 90 in Omaha. Okay. Lori says, let's go Dodgers. Okay. Why would I expect anything else from Lori? She is a die-hard Dodger fan. I don't blame her one bit. Okay. Well, let's see. Last week, when I was wishing Lori a happy birthday, Lori is in the final year of a decade. So next year, she'll move into a new decade. One thing's very interesting. We never knew this, but she shares a birthday, August 11th, with my Aunt Paula. I don't know if Aunt Paula's on here tonight, but my Aunt Paula, she's actually my mom's aunt. She's my Aunt Paula. She married Mike Pittman, my Uncle Mike, who was my mom's uncle. And she lives down in Florida now, but happy birthday, Aunt Paula. And let's see, I mentioned Lori back from Maine. Johnny got to visit. Remember last year we talked about the Running to Honor 5K, and my dad and my sis came up. We did that. Just such a great organization that Army veteran Aaron Bartle has put together up there in Michigan, and we owe it to Matt and Katie for introducing us to Aaron and that whole idea. And we've done now 4 or 5 years worth of those 5Ks. Well, our good friend Kathy Cobb and her family, they ended up being sick the day that we did the run on July 29th or 30th. Well, they did it yesterday. So Lori and her whole Kathy and her whole family did it yesterday. So Kathy Cobb, you're a patriot. Thank you for remembering Zane and being part of the Running to Honor 5K. It was awesome to see that post. Now, I mentioned this last week, and it bears repeating because we want to make a big deal out of it. But in the Running to Honor 5K in 2026 is going to be all about Zane Colby McDonald. Wow. Just incredible for Aaron to even suggest that. Aaron has a theme every year. Last year it was Vietnam vets. This year it was 22 a day, veteran suicides. He's got already got themes lined up for next year, 2024, and the following year, 2025. And he said, hey, Guy, what do you think about dedicating the entire Running to Honor 5K 2026 for Specialist Zane Colby McDonald? And I said, let me think about it. Yes. So, wow, what an honor for that. Lori and I will absolutely go up there and be part of that to whatever extent Aaron would like us to be, tell Zane's story. It's humbling that Aaron would do that, but what a great guy he is. And we're so looking forward to it. I tell you, that'll be the year of the 10th anniversary of his passing. So it just, the stars align on things there. And we're really looking forward to that. And we'll really play it up as we get closer to that. Got a couple of years to go yet, but it's going to be so amazing, so amazing. I love Zane so much. I love to tell people about him, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Just so excited about it. And Lori's in the chat there. Lori is writing a book. And tell you what, she's off to a great start. I'm amazed by it. She shared with me her prelude, and it's fascinating. So she's got a couple years. The book will be done hopefully by then. And you guys can read about Zane from his parents' perspective and others' perspective, because I know that Lori's going to be reaching out to some of you about what do you remember about Zane? What did you do in Iraq? What did you do at Fort Stewart? What did you do? You know, it, it I don't know everything Lori has planned, but it would be incomplete if we didn't have um, the perspective of his battle buddies and whatnot. So, okay, my dad says he's going. All right, Dad. I don't know if Dad's ever been to Michigan, but that'll be great. We'll carpool up there or something, Dad. I'll look forward to it. My dad will be in his 80s by then, but boy, I tell you what, he's as strong as a horse, and no doubt he can make the trip for sure. So we look forward to that, Dad. All right, Roy Cupper's in there, my good buddy. Tell you what, that guy is incredible. Patriot Guard rider, retired Chief Master Sergeant, just a great guy. My actually, he's largely responsible for the idea of having the Patriot Guard riders at Zane's funeral, and I'm so grateful for that because I didn't know how to go about it, and he said, "What had you thought about this?" And one thing led to another, and they were absolutely fantastic here in Georgia. But yeah, good to have you in there, Roy. Roy just made a quick trip to Germany, I guess it was last week, right? Roy, last week or the week before. Okay, well, let's see. Keep it coming in the chat. I'm actually heading to St. Louis tomorrow, so you guys know I'm still working a job, and our headquarters is in St. Louis, so I got to go there every now and then. Going there for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Be home Thursday night, and then Lori and I are driving down to Florida Friday. So what's going on Friday? Well, we are going down to the new My Warriors place in Punta Gorda, Florida. Now, you remember the existing My Warriors place, still there, is in Ruskin, Florida, just south of Tampa. Well, Punta Gorda is even farther south. And Kelly Kowal is honoring the 13 fallen and their families from the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan, which has occurred 2 years ago on August 26th. So Lori and I are going down there on the Friday, the 25th. So I get back from St. Louis Thursday evening. We'll drive down to Florida on Friday. We'll be there for the ceremony on Saturday. And I'm looking forward to meeting the family of Marine Corps Lance Corporal Espinoza, because we played a part in making sure that family could get there. And I'm so proud about that, my company. And so we'll be there for Saturday and then stay Saturday night and probably drive back Sunday. Anyway, that's our plan. And then I'll be home for a week. And then Lori and I are going to England for, 2.5 weeks, I guess. Anyway, so St. Louis tomorrow, be back, go to My Warriors place for the weekend, back home for a week, and then back to London. I'm heading to London on September 5th, coming home September 23rd. So I'll be there about 2.5 weeks, getting a new group of young apprentices started at the company. And Lori's coming along with me. And we got some things planned for Lori. Lori may be staying in England for a while, or she may be going back and forth to England over the next 4 months. We'll tell you more about it as things develop, but really cool opportunity that she's got to help a coworker of mine. So we'll unfold that as it happens. But right now she's planning to come with me September 5th or 6th. And we're so grateful for our daughter, Charlotte. Now, our daughter, Charlotte, she works for United Airlines now. And she, this is a crazy benefit they have. She can, we can, we can fly anywhere on United Airlines, dear old mom and I. And in fact, that's how Lori got back and forth from Maine, was on Charlotte's family plan, I guess you call it. But anyway, that's how we're going to get Lori back and forth to England. And what a great little opportunity there. But it'll be a lot of fun. I'm hoping that while I'm there, I'll have 2 weekends. I'll be there for 2 weekends, and thinking about going to Cambridge, to the Air Museum, and to the American Military Cemetery, and would love to go to Mildenhall. So Lori and I will figure all this out. But we got 2 weekends that we're there together. So maybe I know Lori wants to go to Scotland while she's there, and she might. But I want to go to Cambridge. That's one thing, and I want to go to Mildenhall. So we'll see if we can get it all in. I'll be back in January, so we'll see if I don't get everything done in September. I'll be back in January, so I'll get to do some stuff there. But so that's coming up. So we'll keep you guys in the loop on things. Let's see, 9/11. So I think I mentioned this already before, but I'm going to be facilitating a discussion with some of our coworkers at work that have firsthand accounts of 9/11. And I'm going to be hosting, and that's going to be probably, I'm probably already going to be in the UK, but it'll be September 7th or 8th. I can't remember. But I'll let you guys know about it. And if you're able to tune in, you're welcome to tune in like some of you did on the Memorial Day. But I just figured we can't assume that everybody remembers 9/11 or knows the significance, especially as new people come into the workforce. I mean, they're in their 20s. Some of them weren't even born yet. So we're going to do our part to make sure we share about 9/11 and the impact. So I have 4 people that have a firsthand account of the day. So should be fun. I'll share that with you guys when I know when I have the link. You can register. Okay, weight loss update. I have a weight loss update. It's been an entire month since I've lost any weight, but you know what? I've stayed steady in spite of trips and this, that, and the other. But I'm down another pound. I'm happy to report I'm down another pound. So I'm down 87 pounds. 87 pounds. And so that means my new goal is 3 more pounds to get to 90 pounds lost. I want to get to 90 pounds lost, and then I'm going to decide what I do next. There's some interesting numbers that would be nice. You know, isn't it great to say you've lost 90 pounds? That's my motivation for 3 more. And then just 2 more, and I'll be at an even 200 pounds. I haven't seen 200 pounds since the early 90s. And then it's only another 7 or 8 pounds to get to 100 pounds lost. So I've got these benchmarks along the way, but anyway, so I've been hesitating on upgrading the wardrobe or anything because I got more I want to lose. But Lori kind of shamed me into doing a little shopping. I went out and bought 4 new suit coats, because my other ones are so big. And she watched a video of me hosting this graduation ceremony, and she said it looked like I was swallowed in my jacket. Anyway, I bought some new jackets. But so stay tuned. I'm 3 more pounds, and I'll be able to tell you that I've lost 90. So cheer me on, would you? Okay, let's see. Let me make sure I'm getting through everything here. Lori's down 6 more pounds. So Lori's getting quite a few steps in. I'll tell you, she had to get a lot of steps in the airports. She flew from Atlanta to Dulles to Portland, Maine, Portland to Dulles to Atlanta, and she had to do a lot of walking to the airport. So she's doing pretty good. Okay, well, let's see. How about the hat of the week? So I've got a young man who is in this last group of my engineering students. We just graduated them after a year-long program. This young man lives in the Pacific Northwest, and he sent me a vacuum sealed pack with 5 smoked trout that he had just pulled from the river. It's like he he caught these fish on Tuesday. I got them on Friday, and oh, it was fantastic. He's sent me those before, but yeah, his name is Jeffrey, and he's graduated from the program. He's a nurse by trade. He's been a nurse for the better part of the last decade. Made the shift into tech, got into my program, spent the last year with us in the program, just graduated, and now he's going to be doing some things that leverages the technology and everything I taught him, and then the nursing that he has for our hospital healthcare clients. And he's actually moving from Seattle to Colorado, but he actually sent me some smoked trout that he just pulled out of the river. So if you couldn't tell, the skyline on this hat is the city of Seattle. You see the Space Needle prominent there. So that is the hat of the week. Hat of the week. Okay, let's go on. I do have a couple of this week in military. That was a pretty extensive prelude, wasn't it? A lot of stuff going on here at the fabulous McDonald Estate and Insane Asylum, but ending with the hat of the week. So let's go to this week in military history. I have a couple of items. In August 20th, today, August 20th of 1866, President Andrew Johnson formally declares the end of the Civil War. And then fast forward quite some time, August 20th, on this date, 1940. Now, you guys have probably heard this quote before. I didn't know it was on this day and about this organization, but British Prime Minister, and kind of interesting. Lori and I are getting ready to go to England again, but British Prime Minister Churchill says of the Royal Air Force, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Wow, I've always loved that quote. I didn't realize he was saying it specifically about the Royal Air Force, and I think this was as a result of help me out, guys, Battle of Britain. So that Battle of Britain era when the British Air Force was largely protecting the continent from this onslaught of German bombers and whatnot. But British Prime Minister Churchill says of the Royal Air Force, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Wow, I love that quote. Okay, well, let's move on to the Veteran Cemetery Challenge. We've been doing this for quite some time now. I know that Daryl made at least one visit to Jefferson Barracks, and Daryl made a visit to New Concord Baptist in Tennessee. And Daryl, correct me, but I think that's where your mother-in-law rests. Okay, and I know that my dad has visited Evergreen Cemetery there in Fitzgerald, Georgia, where my mother rests. At least one time. I can always count on that. They've got some work going on there with the headstone and different things going on there. And I know that, let's see, got to change a couple things here. Amy is piping in. I was wondering, Amy has made 2 visits to Omaha National since she last joined us. So I'm going to add that to the list. Thank you, Amy. I know Amy has a whole new perspective on national cemeteries, as we did when we had to place our son there. And I know that hers has changed as she has placed her husband in one. And Amy, I appreciate your candor in that regard. And thank you for sharing with us So I've got you down for the 2 visits. And I'm going to add that in. You do look at those places differently. I know we all hold Arlington in high regard, and we know of Arlington, and we know of the National Cemetery System and everything, but I think until you place someone there that's close to you, you probably don't have the fullest possible appreciation. And then when you do, it's a totally different um, um, experience. You know, I've often described my visits to Georgia National Cemetery, and this is the only way I could describe it in the moment. It was my favorite place to be and my least favorite place to be at the same time. How do you reconcile that? But that's the way it feels on the inside. When I'm there, I hate that I'm there, but I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's a weird sort of thing. And um, anyway, so Amy, thank you for being vulnerable enough to tell us how you feel about it for sure. And I know Daryl has over the years as well. But if I add up the visits that I know about, and adding in Amy's, we had 5 visits this week, 874 visits that this relatively small group of patriots have made over the years. We've been, as I mentioned, speaking of Zane's been in existence for 5 years, but we haven't been doing the Veteran Cemetery Challenge probably but for 3. And to have that many visits under our belt is pretty satisfying. So thank you guys for doing that and for sharing that. Full show. And Amy, let me tell you this. I'm in contact with, speaking of Omaha National Cemetery, we have a mutual colleague there, Todd Vanderwerken, and I'm in fairly regular contact with his son, Tyler. Tyler is in his second year of college there at Metro in Omaha, hopes to transfer, I believe, to UNO next year, but stay in touch with him, and he's got he wants to follow in his dad's footsteps as it relates to technology and everything, and he knows what his dad did. He knows his dad and I worked together, and anyway, so I've got him connected with some other of his dad's colleagues in Omaha, and I'd love to see Tyler make his way into tech and maybe even into my program at WWT. We'll see how things develop over the years, but just a really sharp young man, and I loved his dad. All right, let's see. All right, so that's the Veteran Cemetery Channel. We did have some thank yous this last week as well. Let me tell you the ones I know of, the ones you guys shared with me. And this is something we've been doing. The Thank a Vet Challenge started. Lori and I were out visiting our daughter Charlotte at Texas A&M, and we were on our way back. We made several visits out there. This one we flew, and we were in the Houston airport, I believe, and I saw a guy with a Vietnam veteran hat on, and I just went up and struck a conversation and talked with him a little bit and said thank you. Got a picture of him, and that was the very first one of this challenge. And I came back, and then on Sunday night I shared that with you guys, and then I created this challenge. What if we all did that? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? And wow, three or 4 years later, here we are at 2,247 thank yous that we've done as a relatively small group of people. I know Jim had an interesting interaction with an Air Force veteran somewhere this week. Jim, I can't remember if you were at the dock or the dentist or something, but he ended up talking to an Air Force vet who worked in the ground entry point at Mildenhall the same time we were there. And so, wow, what a small world to meet somebody at the Mildenhall ground entry point. And then Aunt Paula, she thanked a Navy vet, a Desert Storm vet, a combat wounded Vietnam vet, 2 Army vets at the car wash. So Aunt Paula's always out there thanking vets down in Florida. And then Ken, also down in Florida, thanked a Gulf War Marine Corps vet and an Orange County deputy. Remember, we're thanking law enforcement officers too. So good job, team. It looks like we had about 8 or 9 thank yous this week. 2,247 thank yous. And Ken, remind me, Ken issued a challenge, as he's known to do, last week. What were you saying, Ken? What's our challenge? We've often done these challenges in a run up to some significant number or to some date. And I think Ken was issuing a challenge to the group to get, what was it, Ken, to get to 2,500 by the end of the year or something like that? 2,500 thank yous. We're at 2,247. Yeah, there you go. Ken's 2,500 by the end of the year. Absolutely doable. Absolutely doable. And Ken says he will donate to my Warriors Place, and I'll match whatever he does there. But so we're at 2,247. So we've got about 250 or so, 250 thank yous we need between now and the end of the year to meet Ken's challenge. So Ken, thanks for keeping us on our toes there. And then Lori will have to update the thank yous, the thank you sign there. You guys can't see it. Let me see. I can move the camera up there. You can see the great job Lori did on the. We started out 1,000 thank yous, and we got to 2,000 thank yous, and now we'll have to bump it up to 2,500 by the end of the year. So good stuff there. Roy says he's in. He'll match. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. What a great job that Kelly and that team does at My Warriors Place, and I cannot wait. I talked to her yesterday, and she's so excited. She was in Tennessee, actually. You guys remember Kelly, Gold Star mother. Her son, Corey Colwell, was killed in Afghanistan in 2009. And you guys have heard me talk about her. We've had her as a guest a couple times. Well, she's been up in Tennessee, and where they're originally from, and she got the opportunity to go by Corey's grave, and I think now she's heading up to Ohio, I believe, where she will bury her parents who have passed over the last couple of years. Anyway, she called me and we were talking about this next weekend, and where she's staying, where we're staying, that kind of thing. But I'm excited to see her. I hadn't seen her in a little bit, and so we'll be down there Friday sometime. But I don't know where I was going with that. But it's great work that she does down there, and she's going to need some help with the new location. I'm kind of waiting to find out when the full move is going to occur. So right now she's got the old location, which we're all familiar with, and the new location. She's purchased the new location, but she's selling the old location. And I'm not sure that the timing and everything. I'm still looking after the Wi-Fi mesh network in the old location. I get notifications. I can get into the system and watch that and make sure everything's running okay. All the internet's good and everything. But we'll eventually need to pick all that up and move it to the new location. And I've got some of my colleagues, veterans and coworkers that are standing by to mobilize to do that. So, well, there's Kelly right there. Speaking of the devil. Hey, Kelly, we were just talking about the upcoming activities this weekend and talking about the eventual move from the old location to the new location. And I was talking about the Wi-Fi coverage and how we'll need to get all that down there. And I'm excited about that, and mobilizing some of my colleagues down there to get all that done for you eventually. But Kelly, we're looking forward to seeing you down there. We'll be there. Lori and I will be there sometime on Friday. We don't know yet what time, but we'll be there on Friday, and then we'll look for it. If we don't see you Friday evening, we'll see you Saturday for sure. But appreciate everything you do down there. Are you back home yet? I know you're probably not back home yet, are you? You were leaving Tennessee, going to, correct me here if I get any of this wrong, but I think it's Ohio. But Anyway, good. We'll look forward to seeing you back in Florida. But I'm glad you've had. Kelly was sharing with me that um, sometimes it's good to get away. And Kelly, I don't blame you one bit. Kelly has a tremendous Indiana. There you go, Kelly, Indiana. Sh Can you imagine running a nonprofit, a property, 2 properties now, and all the things that she has going? It's a tremendous effort, and, she's the boss, and, she was sharing with me that it was good to get away for a little bit. So, Kelly, I'm glad you were able to get away, and I know you have folks you trust down there that can keep things going for you, and I'm glad that you can get out of there for a little bit, find some relief. And I know you'll be back down there this week, and we'll look forward to seeing you this weekend. Okay, well, that's the Think of Vet Challenge, and a nice cameo appearance by Kelly Kowal, Gold Star Mother. We have fallen in love with Kelly and her mission, and just enjoy any time we can spend with her, and helping her and her mission. And it's so fulfilling and satisfying to be part of that. Yeah, Kelly says she has the delusion she's the boss. Well, trust me, she is the boss. She is absolutely in control, for sure. All right, Kelly, we'll see you this weekend. All right. Well, let's see. I think we are about to the end. Only had one more item here, but it's a sad one. We have a whole segment um, where we talk about heroes that we've lost over this last week, or service members that have been wounded in combat or accidents or whatever the case. And I try to keep track of those. And well, this is a sad one. It hits close to home. One of my coworkers, young man that's a Marine Corps veteran. I brought him into the company, went through our program. Good friend of mine now, lives up in Minnesota. He was a Marine before, and he shared with us a couple of days ago that one of his Marines took his own life this week, and just a sad occurrence, a too frequent occurrence, and so be thinking about my Marine Corps colleague Derek up in Minnesota, as he and the family of his Marine colleague deals with his departure. It's a sad thing, for sure, and nobody's immune from it. But we can't, like Ronald Reagan famously said, we can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone. Think of that. If each of us helped someone, then there you go. And anyway, okay, team. Well, thank you guys so much. As I say often, this is my therapy. I don't go to a therapist. I go to you guys. And speaking of Zane is my outlet and my therapy to deal with the loss of Zane. And man, uh, even to say his name, I love the sound of it. I love to tell people about him. I love to share about him, the good, bad, and the ugly. Um, and I thank you guys for being there to listen to me, and the way you guys have come alongside and helped us, and furthered our mission of keeping his name alive, and helping others like him, and helping those like Kelly and her effort. And man, can't thank you guys enough for that, and appreciate every one of you. Well, so next week we'll see if we have Speaking of Zane on Sunday or Monday. So Lori and I will be driving back from Florida probably on Sunday. So we probably won't do Speaking of Zane next Sunday night, but we'll do it probably Monday night. I'll let you guys know. But we should have a lot to report about our weekend. I am so excited about what Kelly has in store for honoring the 13 and their families that were killed in that disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I'm looking forward to reporting that to you folks next week, probably on the Monday night. We got a long drive back, but appreciate everybody. Have a great week. I'll be in St. Louis, as I said, but I'll look forward to seeing you guys next week. And God bless you all. And Take care of each other. We'll see you.